Charlotte Brontë, Jane Eyre. Welcome to the summary of A Jane Eyre, an influential coming-of-age novel penned by Charlotte Brontë. As you explore the vivid and captivating world of Jane Eyre, you will encounter an extraordinary journey of self-discovery, romance, and moral dilemmas. In a narrative replete with distinctive characters and grotesque mysteries, Jane grapples with her identity as she navigates complex relationships and societal expectations. Key themes include love, forgiveness, autonomy, and the power of strong-willed determination. As you delve into this summary, you will find an engrossing and human tale of self-assurance, resilience, and love transcending societal boundaries.
Jane Eyre's tragic beginnings. Orphaned at a young age, Jane struggles to find love and acceptance within her uncle's family. Despite her uncle's wishes, her cruel aunt treats her with contempt and locks her in a haunted room. After a nervous breakdown, Jane is sent to an orphanage where she learns to persevere through hardships. Jane's struggle for survival. Jane's search for love and respect leads her to a new life of struggle and survival at Lowood Orphanage, which is governed by a cruel clergyman. She befriends a girl named Helen Burns, who imparts important life lessons to her about love and forgiveness. As Jane adapts to the harsh living conditions of Lowood, she flourishes with the help of Miss Temple's love and respect. However, she faces callous treatment from Mr. Brocklehurst, who runs the orphanage. Despite the outbreak of a typhus epidemic that claims the lives of many students, Jane's resilience, support from her friends, and public concern lead to better living conditions at Lowood. After spending 8 years at the orphanage, and with Miss Temple's departure, Jane sets out to find work as a governess, hoping to start life anew. Jane's attraction to Rochester. Jane Eyre arrives at Thornfield Hall and is welcomed by Mrs. Fairfax and her pupil, Adele. Edward Rochester, Adele's ward, is rumored to be a peculiar gentleman who doesn't show basic manners towards Jane when they first meet. However, he seems to appreciate Jane's cleverness and quick-wittedness, forming a habit of talking to her at night. Rochester opens up to Jane about his immoral past, but instead of deterring her, she becomes attracted to him, seeing a noble and good-natured man behind his rough exterior. Saving grace. While Jane enjoys her time at Thornfield, she can't shake off the mysterious laughing that comes from Grace Poole's sewing chamber. When a fire breaks out in Mr. Rochester's bedroom, Jane bravely saves him. However, he departs soon after, leaving Jane confused and heartbroken when he returns in the company of Miss Ingram. Despite her feelings for Mr. Rochester, Jane struggles to maintain her composure as she watches him court the haughty Miss Ingram. Jane's turbulent life. Jane's peaceful life at Thornfield is disrupted when Mr. Mason arrives unexpectedly, injured. Rochester refuses to explain the situation, but Jane soon receives news of her cousin's suicide and her aunt's illness. Returning to Gateshead, Jane learns the truth about her past and the uncle who wanted to care for her. Her aunt's confession brings a sense of closure, and Jane is at peace with herself and her turbulent life. Jane's Thornfield tragedy. Jane falls in love with Mr. Rochester, but discovers he is already married to a madwoman living in the attic. Jane returns to Thornfield assuming she'll soon leave her adored Mr. Rochester. To her surprise, he confesses to using Miss Ingram to make Jane jealous and proposes to her. However, Jane remains doubtful of Rochester's love and attempts to remain true to her independent self instead of being showered with gifts. On the night before their wedding, Jane dreams of Thornfield in ruins and wakes to find an eerie creature tearing apart her veil at her bedside. Rochester admits that strange things have been happening but refuses to explain until a year passes. During the wedding ceremony, a lawyer claims that Rochester's already married, and his wife is kept a secret in the attic. Rochester admits to his wife's madness and the incidents at Thornfield were caused by her. Rochester believed he could ignore his first marriage contract due to his wife's insanity and family schemes. However, Jane cannot imagine living with a married man and leaves Thornfield. Jane's journey to find family and love. After leaving Thornfield, Jane travels to Whitcross and finds herself begging for food and shelter. But her luck turns around when she is taken in by St. John Rivers and his sisters. When Jane inherits from her uncle and discovers her newfound relatives, she decides to share her wealth with them. As St. John proposes marriage for duty, Jane hears the voice of her old flame Rochester and rushes back to him at Thornfield. The redemption of Jane and Rochester. Jane returns to Rochester after a devastating fire destroyed Thornfield Hall, and finds him broken and crippled. They marry after the death of Rochester's first wife, and Jane vows to never leave him again. Rochester's sight slowly improves, allowing him to see his firstborn son.
In conclusion, Jane Eyre offers an enlightening and unforgettable journey through the complexities of self-discovery, love, and the arduous challenges that life often presents. Throughout her remarkable narrative, Jane challenges societal norms, transforming from an unloved orphan into an empowered young woman. The book serves as a testament to the triumph of the human spirit and the power of internal strength, as we observe Jane's story of resilience amid adversity, her unwavering quest for love, and her determination to remain true to herself. We hope that you gained valuable insights upon reading this summary, and that it evoked an appreciation for Charlotte Bronte's timeless tale of passion, morality, and courage.